I know I'm probably being a little bit over the top with my optimism on the Browns draft class, but when you pick inside the top 50 for the first time since 2021, not once, not twice, but three times, I'm going to be a little bit more half glass full than usual. So let's talk all about the two running backs the Browns got in the draft because ESPN came out with an article where they broke down all the rookie running backs and put them into six different tiers clear featured back, lead backs, committee backs, then wild cards, situational backups, and depth backs. So I want to break down where Judkins and Sampson fell in these six tiers and give you my thoughts along the way. There's only one running back in the clear featured backs tier, and that is Raiders rookie Ashton Genty. No surprise and no disagreements on my end. Like he is in his own tier. Let's not lose sight of how incredible and special of a prospect Genty was coming out of Boise State. I think he is going to be an instant success in Las Vegas as long as the offensive line is just marginally better than it was the last couple of years. He should be a no doubter, 1,000-yard rusher, 8 touchdowns as a rookie. I feel like he's going to be the next big thing at that position, which is not a hot take or anything like that, but he is going to live up to the billing. I'm that high on Genty overall. So that's our 1-1 for clear featured back, and no one else, in my opinion, should really be in this category. Next up, we have lead backs, and this is where the Browns get in the mix because Quinshon Judkins, pick 36, joins Omarion Hampton from the Chargers, a round 1 pick, and R.J. Harvey, an end of round 2 pick by the Broncos. Now, Mike Clay from ESPN said this about Judkins. He led the position group in the broad jump while running a 4.48 second 40-yard dash. The Browns should keep him busy near the goal line as he had 16-plus touchdowns in all 3 seasons at Ohio State. That's clearly a typo by Mike. He can catch the ball a bit, but he wasn't overly impressive in that area at Ole Miss or OSU. Judkins will likely step in as Cleveland's lead back, though he might lose some touches to Jerome Ford and fellow rookie Dylan Sampson. I think Clay hit the nail on the head here. Like, there's probably going to be a little bit of a committee-ish approach at the beginning just because Judkins is a rookie. You don't want to overload him with too much. So Jerome Ford can help out when it comes to maybe some pass protection sets because he's been a reliable blocker for the quarterback. But overall, I think we're going to see a good-sized workload for Judkins. Last year, he didn't really get the rock nearly as much as he did his first 2 years in college. Didn't even get to 200 carries compared to clearing 270 carries back in Oxford in 2022 and 2023. Now, ESPN cooked up some of their own stat projections for all these players. Here's what they are projecting for Judkins. 211 carries for 922 yards. That's an average of 4.3 yards a pop, 285 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns on the ground. If that sounds familiar to anyone, it's because I think Mike Clay is a subscriber of the Cleveland Browns Report. A week ago, we talked about some of these rookies, and I gave a projection of 200 carries for 950 yards. So me and Mike are 11 carries off and about 25 yards off and exactly the same amount of touchdowns, but just 1 week apart from when this came out and when this article came out. Overall, though, I feel like a lot of times in this day and age when a talking head or a big publication comes out with something about your team, you almost, I just think the cynical fans look for areas to see where they're wrong and where they are, not valuing or appreciating your team or your favorite player enough. I don't really have anything to disagree with Clay here. Like, I have the same stat projections he has. I think we're going to see Ford and Sampson and Judkins. I wouldn't say have an even 33, 33, 33 split, but Judkins is going to be the lead back. Ford's going to have opportunities, and Sampson's going to, peek his head through every once in a while, probably later on in the season, spend the first 4 to 6 weeks really getting with NFL game speed, learning an NFL playbook. But I think by the end of the year, we could see Sampson incorporated more into the offense. We see that often from Kevin Stefanski, where the rookies they don't get on the field a whole lot early on. Now, he hasn't had a whole lot of early draft picks to work with, but I expect Sampson to be quiet early on, which I'll talk more about him. But overall, for Judkins, I like what Clay had to say about this one for the lead backs. And I think if you're the Browns, you got Judkins in this category right here. He's with the first round draft pick, and he's ahead of Travion Henderson, who went 2 spots ahead of 2 spots after Judkins, and he fell all the way to the committee backs department here. So I like this for the Browns. I mean, if you're reading this, you got to feel a little bit more upbeat and confident about the selection you made at 36. So Caleb Johnson, the Iowa running back, who I was super high on, and I can't completely reverse course just because he went to the Steelers, but hopefully him being slow comes to fruition and he's easy to tackle from behind. Henderson going to the Patriots at 38. So this was a big decision for Cleveland. I've heard some buzz that there were teams trying to move up with New England for Henderson at 38. The Browns, 2 spots beforehand, they had their pick of a couple of running backs, Judkins, Henderson, Johnson. And as we move further away from the draft, I become more and more confident with the selection they made in Quinshon Judkins. So here are the committee backs. It's nice to see that the Browns' 36 overall pick established himself in the lead backs tier. The wild cards, it's like Charlie Green from Always Sunny. You got Jaden Blue, and I can't pronounce his first name, but it's the Virginia Tech running back. I just know him as he was the best athlete at the combine. Fastest running back. He's got all great physical measurements and traits and times and things like that, but he's a wild card because he went down for a loss on a lot of his carries for Virginia Tech last year. So here's the wild cards category. We're going to look at Dylan Sampson next, but before we do, I do want to give a big special shout out to our friends over at Mando. With spring here, the warmer weather is arriving, and if you're going to be outdoors a little bit more, maybe you like to go on hikes, maybe you want to get some walks going. I know I do when it just comes to walking my dog for a little bit longer every single morning, knowing I'm not hustling back inside of my PJs and slippers because it's freezing. But with Mando, I don't have to worry about smelling bad for the whole rest of the day because I got a good workout in the morning. Whole body deodorant is safe to use anywhere on your body. I'm talking pits, I'm talking below the belt, belly buttons, butt cracks, feet, you name it. All products are baking soda free as well. You could choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support the Browns Report and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Now, getting back to our rookie running back tiers, Dylan Sampson climbs in the situational backs and backups department of these rookie tiers. So he's joined by DJ Giddens, the Kansas State running back, and then Woody Marks, who went to the Texans. I like this a lot for the Browns for a few reasons. One, he went to my alma mater, and so I watched Dylan Sampson all of 2024, and I can tell you personally, he is better than what 126 would indicate. Plus, you're going to see in a moment, he goes in this department. There were some running backs taken before Sampson who have been relegated to the next tier. Now, Clay had this to say on the Tennessee back. Sampson is one of the smallest and youngest RBs in this class at 5'8" and 20 years old. He ran for 5.9 yards per carry over his 3-season career, but wasn't used much in the pass game. Sampson's outlook is less than ideal as second-rounder Judkins is likely the team's short and long-term lead back. For Clay, what I would push back on is, well, maybe for Dylan Sampson long-term fantasy owners, it's not ideal. For Browns fans and for the Browns themselves, I think it is ideal. I think it helps the Browns get back to what they did so well with Kevin Stefanski from 2020 to before Deshaun Watson got there. And that was run the football, right? We're talking Leanne Tui style. And you want to do that by having an effective 1-2 punch if you feel like, hey, we don't have a clear-cut, gift from God at running back. And I loved what Cleveland did with Nick Chubb, who was a gift from God, and Kareem Hunt still working aside him. It allowed both guys to stay fresh, not only for all 18 weeks, but also for all 4 quarters in every single game. So I'm excited for this tandem right here. And I'm going to go out and stick my neck out a little bit and say, watch out for Dylan Sampson. Watch out for Dylan Sampson to have a better year than what people are expecting. Watch out for Dylan Sampson to have a better career, better yet, than what people are expecting. He's young. He's a little bit undersized. So I don't expect to see a whole lot of Sampson early on in the 2025 season. I wouldn't be discouraged if he's a healthy scratch once or twice in September and October, or if he makes the game day roster but never sees the field. I think by November, by December, as he begins to ramp up a little bit and gets a better foothold of what it's like to play in the NFL, he's going to have everyone excited for 2026 between him and Judkins as this team's 1-2 punch for years to come. So the ESPN stat projections, I won't push back on too hard. I would think he gets a little bit more than 265 yards, but not way more. I mean, if everyone's healthy and he has a role I envision for him, that's probably about accurate. I'd go with like 300, but now we're kind of, nickel and diming one another. But long term, I feel like this just shows even more evidence of the Browns did a great job in this draft. Because at pick 126, they got a situational guy. Hey, in round 4, I'll take that. If he can plug some of the holes in this running back room, because he's got great speed. Like Judkins has great, combination of size and speed. But Sampson, he probably possesses a little bit more creativity in the open field to rip off a long run. And that's going to be a very nice, breather for Judkins, but a big, hands on your hip moment for linebackers. And like, the backup's faster than the starter. We don't even get a chance to really catch our breath right now because we also have to work overtime now that we just got, pummeled into the ground by Judkins, who's always fighting for extra contact. And his understudy ripped off 20-plus touchdowns last year, so we can never rule him out to break off a long run. Now, Sampson, like I said, went in a tier before a handful of guys who were taken before him in the draft. Trevor Etienne to the Panthers at 114. Jarquez Hunter to the Rams at 117. You can see where some of the other running backs filed on in this draft class. I always wonder what happened to Ollie Gordon. Is there an Oklahoma State fan watching right now? What happened to Ollie Gordon this past season? Why did he suck? He was supposed to be like the Heisman favorite or something going into 2024. Guy goes 179 in like round 6 to the Dolphins. I'm probably going to draft him at the last round of my draft because he was awesome. All right. Who was the Browns running back when you first became a fan? We're going to wrap up today's episode with this question right here. Could it be Nick Chubb? Would be kind of recent. Probably be a little bit young. Peyton Hillis? That's a possibility. Let me know in the comment section below who that running back was. Now, let's pick a card to get you guys on your way. Mr. Barkus, do you know which card you want to go with? Reed says Jack of Clubs. I'm going to go with 5 of Diamonds. No. 7 of Clubs. 7 of Clubs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see everyone next time.